Ooh, I like that one. Yeah. You are listening to the Lost Minds. You say it, that sounds better. You are listening to the Lost Minds podcast.
Let's get this session started with a deep breathing exercise. And by deep breathing exercise, I mean, see on the inside.
Hello. What are you doing? Just making a podcast. Bet your ass cool.
Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3. That sound pretty good. Wait. There we go. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
There we go. That sounds a lot better. That's one thing. Apologizing ahead of time and or whenever the heck you're listening to this, but I've noticed it a couple times. I think it's because of the cordage on this. The feedback's been kind of squampy and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. We got some
Hopefully
shitty.
this doesn't mess it up. I'm gonna unplug this.
Oh god. Yep, I heard that.
Oh, man.
Heard that too.
How about that? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Can you
now.
hear this message loud and clear? If you would like to help the pod out, support the podcast, go ahead and buy a t-shirt or two. Buy something to the Amazon link.
I heard only cool people wear our t-shirts.
Yep.
Wearing one right now.
Wearing one right now.
I heard only cool people watch deep fakes.
I've never even heard of them till today, dude. But I'm gonna have to do some hard research into this tonight.
Yeah, people want to talk. Well, that was one thing we were talking about before we started. Is how we were talking about how we think like the military controls, or like I guess pushes innovation or pushes technology, and the same as like with porn. And I feel like porn, like software wise, because yeah, with those like deep fakes, it's the similar now because you can put a deep fake for the. I guess anyone that doesn't know now is like a thing that pornography does, where people had done some kind of special effects over their faces or whatever when they did the pornography, that you can take any image you want and upload it onto the program, and it will simulate your face onto someone in a pornography. So it's kind of like an augmented reality opposed to virtual reality. And some of them, like they've done with celebrities, are like indistinguishable. You can't even tell. See, there we go.
it is.
That was my bad.
See? Yeah, we got
What
to
did you
keep.
do?
I sneezed.
Oh.
Oh, see, it is the little cords. We got to keep up on the cords.
Which chords is it?
I think it's just these little aux cord or whatever. We'll plug it. We get a little bit wild here. We get a little wild.
Don't be
pulling on
apologizing
cords.
for nothing we do here.
That's true. It's true.
Listen here, people. We're fucking animals.
Anyways.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
gonna go down a little bit. Back to the
Damn,
deep
dude.
fake.
Welcome to the Lost Minds podcast and the Deep Fakes episode.
really loud.
Do I?
Yeah, like, can you stop yelling?
What do you got? Balls. You got balls.
But what were you talking about? Deep fakes? Sorry.
Deep fakes.
I'm a little tipsy.
Granger Hermione.
Have you guys seen them at all?
No, I have never even heard of them till now.
I haven't.
I watched it on a Philip DeFranco thing where he's talking about them.
I stopped listening to that guy.
It's
He's
pretty-
fucking fake news. Just kidding. No, you're not. You're badass.
I like him. I like it too because I watched a couple of stories where he did it like a week later and was like, "Hey, I screwed up. I did the news wrong," and so I was like, "That's cool." After then, I've always kind of been a fan of his. But he was kind of
his since he was like doing his thing in his like mom's bedroom or some shit. I don't remember.
I've
It was,
been a
like, in
fan of
bedroom.
him since before when he was in elementary school.
hell yeah,
He
Philly.
was doing his thing.
Hook us up with a shout out, dude. Look out. But at least from I guess his reporting on it and stuff, they had found a bunch that because after that, like I had never heard of this stuff, but they were trying to do a thing where they were putting a kibosh on this, where they're having Google and all these places saying they were going to restrict the searches because it is an infringement of privacy. You know, anybody can upload a picture of their ex or whatever and put it on there, and then be like, "Oh yeah, I got a fucking video of them having porn." And you'd be like, "What the hell?" Some of them, the faces won't line up, and they don't have a model that matches, so it looks funky. But some of them, like Hermione or fucking Emma Watts, they have some with her, and like I think that's kind of one of them that started. Is now people were like, "Oh, she's doing this," and it's like, "No, you've stolen the identity, infringed on personal identity."
How do you know it wasn't her?
Because I think
You
they
don't.
used this simulated over a few different ones, and I guess even with them saying they weren't, so you're supposed to be able to. You can't really Google them or do whatever, but yet if you were to go to a lot of porn sites, they have tags for them, so you can still like pull them up. So
But just because they have tags for them doesn't mean they're real.
That's true.
or they're not real.
Or they're not trying to stop it, because that was originally why they're trying to stop it, because
You can't stop anything on the internet.
or porn wise.
Do you remember that?
Do you
Do you remember that app? It was called like Jibber Jabber or some shit like that, where
There's
you take a picture of yourself and you like post it on the website, and it tells you to like crop it in a little area, and you do it.
Oh yeah, and it makes the heads popping
Yeah, and
around.
it makes you look like you have
Like
a
dancing
South
elf or
Park
whatever.
Canadian head, and you're just sitting there like, and it looks like you, but it's your mouth instead of like your mouth moving, it's half your head's moving up and down.
Well, that's what I was like talking about, is because like that's where it started, and then boom, that's where it goes.
That's a whole nother fucking level, dude. You're putting your face on someone else's body.
Dude, this is in like 5 years, if you think about it. Like,
Dude, if I
No,
put
this is
my
now,
face on
apparently.
a freaking
because
you
of
know,
pornography, it's not.
Spartan's body, I'd be like,
Think about.
all right, let's
Hey,
do
ladies.
it.
They don't have
Hey,
that yet.
ladies.
They don't have that yet. Why? Because it hasn't been done yet. Where they
No,
do
that's
it first.
Photoshop. You just
They
take
did
a
it in
picture
porn
and put your
first,
face
but
in
porn, because porn pushes this.
Yeah, that's the
stuff.
whole argument, is that porn and the military are pushing us forward, and the whole the way this whole thing
This
started.
is the first time we're seeing this, dude. And it's the same with like the voice recording. Remember, like they were taking like us right now, we'd be fucked. They have programs that could just pull up one of our episodes, and with a handful of words, they can make you. They make that robot make you record anything that it's not even you saying it.
They
but-
make you say something that you did never said.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. After like only having 10 words of yours or some shit. Yep. So you take that, take a deep fake, and people, oh my god, you'd be sitting there. Yes, I love it in the ass, and everyone would be like, dude, Brick, I didn't know you're gay. Apparently, I didn't know I was either, but I'm smiling in this fucking deep fake at least, right? So,
You're like, dude, I'm freaking enjoying it in that video.
You're like, damn, I got abs.
think about
You're like, I didn't know I had abs.
think about all of a sudden, though, they switch that over, and it gets into some, you want to go down some far-fetched road where all of a sudden it's a video of you and you're next to some guy and he's talking about some demands that this terrorist organization is about to do, and they behead a fake version of different presidents or whatever. And then someone's like, whoa, that's not me, dude. Hey, no, this video shows you here. That's you, right? Is that not your voice? But that wasn't me, dude. That sounds like me, but it's not me. And then you almost have like the
So
enemy
the
of state
richer
thing.
get richer and the poor get poorer, because now the richer can say, hey,
Hey, yeah, birds
That's not
together
me.
flock to feather,
That's
right?
not
Or
me.
birds of a feather flock together.
but if you're poor
Rich
and
stay
you
rich,
can't
poor stay
afford
poor,
that
yeah.
good lawyer, you're going to be like, well, yep, they got me on video.
This is where you have to come up with a cool name for your new band of heroes. The Red Hand! Or something
The red
like that.
hand.
What is it, Red Dawn or some shit?
Yeah, Red Dawn.
Yeah. But no, the way I was thinking about it was a lot of people are complaining that money's going into the military infrastructure and just we're spending money on the wrong places. But if you think about it, military drives all innovation, everything. You know what I mean? Like,
It's what the hell it drove us, right?
so is it not driving technically in a byproduct the country? So instead of putting all your assets and resources on making cleaner water, if you put it in the military needs cleaner water. They push it harder than an independent company. But then again, you got SpaceX and they're fucking
yeah.
not military. They're independent and they're pushing that way further than the government ever thought they could do it.
That's
Yeah.
true. And it's weird too, because like even if you were to pick, I guess the kind of area where it would kind of, I guess you'd put the effort. Like, oh, you're putting a lot of money in the military. It helps promote rockets and promotes whatever, or whatever. It's like kind of developing. Even with like everything, I guess comes from it, because you hear even stories of like the spies using different tools and things now that are like back, what was it, in 1992? I think there was which I think was on a Joe Rogan podcast, where he was talking to an old fighter, Mike Swick, who used to be in the old military reserve and was working at an embassy. And he was like, man, back in like the 90s, he's like, we would have to debug our places all the time, and we'd find random things.
Just lay off an EMP in the room.
Exactly. He's like, there'd be like little things that someone had just stuck against like one of the main frames or one of the main pillars of the building, and it would get charged just off the little sway of the building, when it would move, which is minuscule.
And that's in the 90s.
Yeah, and that's what was powering it
That's
then.
crazy. Like the movement of the building would charge the battery
yeah,
cell.
it's like,
and
so it's like
thing.
those shaking lights,
Like
it's
a shake weight.
Yeah,
If anybody's not watching us on our live
like
feed
a-
right now, Brick's got his hand in a
if someone's like,
in a
hey,
grip.
you jerk
He's
off.
moving it up and
it's
down
like,
real quick in a jerking motion.
Yeah, you remember those little lights? He kind of vibrate the copper
Now he's
panels
doing it
together.
under his shirt where we can't see what he's doing.
Now he's looking me in the eyes. That was a soft wink. It's like, but when you get those little friction pads together, I guess, of the copper, and it's like, bzz, 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 bzz. It was like such a minuscule little tiny
One
piece
more
of
time,
that.
how did it go?
Bzz, 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 bzz.
I got it.
And it was that little movement would charge it. It would charge it enough, and so you thinking back then, let alone till now.
Have you ever seen the video on how copper reacts with neodymium magnets? or how magnets react to copper?
No.
What happens?
Not necessarily, no.
So this guy's got a giant piece of copper, like a 1 foot by 1 foot wide, 3-inch thick piece of copper, and he's got a magnet on a rope, and he swings the magnet, like lets it pull towards the copper, and it doesn't hit it. It actually stops it. The magnet doesn't attract to it or repel from it, but the magnet stops. It looks like sci-fi, dude. The magnet comes swinging down like a wrecking ball, and just before it gets to it, the magnet slows down before it gets to the block of copper, and it stops.
Does copper got like anti-magnetic waves or something?
Yeah, it's weird. It doesn't. It's weird. It doesn't stop it. And what they're
Stand your ground.
Could you use that in cars?
they're thinking about using it as brakes, non-friction brakes.
Oh, that's cool.
So like when you apply it, the magnet comes in and it stops your car from rolling, or trains.
That's
They use it as magnetic brakes, and it looks fake. But the guy's like, this is all real time. He's like, look at my hand moving. He's like, I'm moving my hands, and the magnet's like, stops. Just the physics of it's crazy. And then he also does one where he's got a copper wire going up through a tube, and he drops a magnet through it without the copper wire being connected to itself to create a circuit, and the magnet falls straight through like nothing. But as soon as he connects the copper wire to itself, so it creates a circuit through the entire piece of copper, as he drops it, the magnet actually slows down and falls slower to the table.
Damn.
You almost made an argument right there for yourself, though, to counter-predict with the military thing, because even when you think about it, like right now, I was like, damn, that's a pretty sweet innovation. I wonder what drove that
That's
innovation.
the rule of
the
thumb, though,
military.
dude. The military doesn't always have the smartest people.
But sometimes they do, though. Like with
Sometimes they do.
like the
but not all
NASA's
the time.
top scientists were all fucking ex-Nazi scientists.
But where I derived from that, or changed my freaking train of thought, was when you were doing your little shake weight thing. Do you remember the old flashlights? They used to have a little magnet inside, and you'd shake them.
Yeah, exactly that.
And they would turn on. That's exactly what they were. It was a copper wire with a magnet running through the center.
Oh, no, stop it?
It would create friction between the two that would create electricity, so you power the battery.
Oh, see, I didn't know that it stopped it, though.
So,
I
'cause
thought it was
those-
I thought it rubbed
Didn't
against
stop it. It slowed it down.
No, it didn't stop it. It slowed it down. But the friction between the magnet and the copper wire would create electricity.
Damn, so...
So you'd be charging the little watch battery that's inside there that would charge your flashlight. And as soon as it would die,
So
you
if
just
there's
shake it.
ever such thing as a copper person and a magnetic person,
They'd have to rub against each other.
they wouldn't like each other.
one's negative, one's positive.
And then they'd create light.
Well, that's interesting because... So do you think it was... I guess probably would be military, like, say if it was something... Tesla had that theory, let's say, and they still... His trunk, pull open that trunk of stuff, open that up. Oh, what the fuck is this theory? He's got some kind of few tests and theories on copper and magnets. Let's see what they got going on here. Do you think that's kind of where... Because, I mean, even if you were to say, so now that guy maybe took that technology to try and put it in brakes, and he's like, hey, we can have brakes that won't, non-friction brakes. But then again, we have that technology in flashlights now, so we can use it in flashlights. But before then, they had that technology to use it in power source.
I think what happens is the YouTubes is used as a source material for the military, right? So they've got people out there doing all sorts of crazy shit. Like, for instance, some guy would probably try to make a water engine in his garage to run on water. Or salt water, purified salt water. And he posts his findings on YouTube like, hey guys, this is how close I am to this, that, and the other. Military sees it, and they're like, he's got some pretty good ideas. Let's go off that. Now, instead of having one guy tinkering in his garage, they've got 30, 40, 50 people
With unlimited
amount of money and resources working on that theory, and they have a breakthrough. Next thing you know, they've got water motors fucking working.
They got fresh water on their bases overseas.
And I think that's just my stupid theory, my bro theory, is that they let us tinker with whatever we want. It's a free state, free country. And then whenever someone gets close to something, they kind of snag it and take it to the private sector and make it work.
That's why if you're good at something, don't do it for free.
So if you're good at something, don't post it on YouTube, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Make money.
You can even make an argument, though, like if no one else... even if someone else did that, say you put that out there and the military didn't see it, some crazy fucking Einstein dude sees it and he's like, some Doc Watson. Oh my God, the flux capacitor, and after your idea, all of a sudden creates the flux capacitor.
Saying Watson triggered me, dude.
And then the next thing you know, he's like time traveling. I guess he's more like deep freeze.
I forgot what that thing was called. You called deep fakes? Because you said Watson, and I was like, is that one what you were talking about? I was like, you triggered me, deep fakes.
Yeah, and that's what I guess going back with the deep fakes and stuff, with that being the driver, and even with it being, how you're like, Elon Musk is kind of putting out SpaceX, and it's kind of like a private sector or whatever coming
Everybody
out.
knows it's
I
fake.
honestly
That's
feel
what a
like
lot of
the
people say
deep
it is
fakes
fake.
are getting us ready for something. Almost like some sort of scandal. Watch, they're going to be like, Elon Musk was banging
I just believe it's
someone.
just
that he
proves
shouldn't
that
have
we're in a
been.
computer simulation, dude. When you hear at least a lot of the people I find smart, they all come to that same realization that they think we're in a simulation. Where they even said, like, so let's say right now we are in the second simulation where there's a life before where we made the simulation, and now we're in the second one, and we're about to get to the state of development where we're going to create our own simulation. We're going to create our own simulation in that, and that'll be simulation 3. And so let's say we're there. So we're in 2. We have a real simulation ahead of us, so we're already in the second simulation, and we're about to create our own. That's number 3. So if you believe in infinity, that'll never stop. So say we're at 1 billion, and then you take a dart or something and you throw it at all those billion copies all over the place. What's your odds of hitting the first one? Technically, if we were to start developing a computer simulation, it would be so far overgone that.
I'd like to be in a simulation of just straight up Playboy mansions.
Well, if we're in the simulation, the idea is that if the simulation, if we really are in a simulation, we're not making it. We're making a copy of it. So when we get to the point where we're like, hey, we can create a computer simulation, because at our technology we will be. At some point we'll be able to make some kind of virtual reality where we can go in there and it'll be undistinguishable for life. And we can go live in Adam and Eve's world. We're going to get to one of those points. But it's like 1 in a gazillion chance that we're the first person to do that. So the chances is that this is just the gazillionth time down the road that it's happened.
Dude,
because of the possibilities,
The weird thing is the book I'm reading right now is kind of like that. I could see
What's the book called?
It's called We Are Legion, We Are Bob. And
We Are Bob.
It starts off, it's kind of like that. He's an artificial intelligence, basically, but he gets to the point where he's kind of bored, and he creates more copies of himself, and then they eventually create an internet.
Is Bob?
It's Bob.
Oh, so
Bob is
hit him with a soft name.
Bob
He's
is
like the evil
Legion,
genius.
and he ends up creating like shitloads of copies of himself, and they all take on different roles because they all think in the same thing, but they're like, it'll take forever to create an internet, so I'll work on the internet while you go explore, kind of shit like that. And the one Bob that creates the internet, he basically links all the Bobs together across light years. So they're all in different parts of the galaxy. And he's like, oh, shit, I'm spoiler alerting. But the book's been out forever, so if you're not fucking reading it or whatever, it's like a movie. I guess I'd be spoiling it for you guys.
But even though it's still, there's quite a bit in a book.
Yeah, and but what I'm thinking is, so he's creating this universe. One of the Bobs, he's like, what would be really cool is if we had like a softball team. So we had a Bob softball team. And they're all thinking the same thing, and the other Bob's like, "This
of all the other Bobs,
because one Bob created the internet that they could be with no, they call it light speed lag, so it would take 11 light years for them to get from one Bob to another, and one of them created a satellite basically that would cancel out the light speed lag, so they could all connect to it, and they'd all be within the same room virtually together, and they created like a VR and a VR baseball field, and he's like, we're going to have a Bob team 1 and a Bob team 2, and we're going to play Bob baseball. And then I'm like, well, imagine if these Bobs started simulating other people. Like they created other simulations of other people. Those other people would never know they were in a simulation.
Yeah, they're just like the freaking, not like the AI, but they're, what would they call that? What are they, not CPUs? What do they call the people that are just like the stagnant characters?
Bots or AI?
Like a bot, yeah. But like in Grand Theft Auto, where they, like if you were to bump up to them, NPC, where they
but they'd have their own free will and they'd think they were alive.
And like think of them in Fable, they kind of do, because they're like, get off me. And then if you were to like bump into them a few more times, and then all of a sudden they kind of have, that person will always kind of hate you, the same way as you can choose to hate them or whatever. So they're like, ugh, you, or whatever. And so like, do you think at some point you could, I guess, program it? It would have to be, actually, if you think about it, right?
Well, you'd program it, but the program would live on its own and it'd continue off.
Wouldn't it be like
that endless though?
You think it'd be like the Twitter one, the one where like it would, if you're in the simulation, you go up to it every time and you're like, "Hey, buddy," and you call it buddy every time, and then slowly as it upgrades as the simulation goes, it becomes upgraded as, "Hey, this is more of a friend character," or vice versa. If you were to like say it was a person, hit them, and be like, "Oh man, this person thinks they're aggressive towards me," or whatever, and then it becomes in the simulation more of a negative character. Like with the Twitter thing, where they put the Twitter thing out and it was just an open AI and it was going to generate its thoughts and processes off the thoughts and processes of all the people asking it questions. And over time, all the questions everyone was asking it and talking to it, it made it like a racist Nazi thing where it was like, "Death to all humans, this race is horrible, this race is horrible," and stuff, just because everybody knew that it was doing that stuff. So they just started sending out racist ass shit and dumb ass shit. And it caused this robot to become like crazy. Do you think in turn, if they would use that similar AI, like the Twitter AI that was broke because of, what it consumes,
that it was consuming?
Yeah, would if you were like, that's what I would imagine. Like, say it was in this simulation we're in right now, and they put that in, and you have
what
your
if
neighbor.
It's going on right now?
Yeah, think it'd be your neighbor, because it's like the whole, even with you guys, it's like I know I'm alive. Well, I know I'm alive because you guys are, right? So there's self implies
I
other.
think, therefore,
right?
I am.
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. There you go, Descartes. So, freaking, yeah, right. So self implies other, right? So we can like say that, but at the end of the day, it's like, say it was Grand Theft Auto. How do I? But like, I couldn't explain to you, be like, "No, dude, I'm playing a game right now," and you're like, "This? What do you mean? This is not a game. This is Grand Theft Auto." And you're like, "No, I'm playing Grand Theft Auto." I'm like, "Okay, you're crazy, dude." Like, you couldn't tell a character inside Grand Theft Auto that they're not playing a game. They would be like, "No, dude, this is the world we live."
That's why you stab them with your 12-inch blade and keep running, and the ambulance comes and saves them.
So, like, that's like if you guys were to talk to me about that, how do you know that now, after you asking these questions, now I'm, like, creating this response to protect it, though, to protect the AI thing? Like, oh, shit, he's getting close to us. He's trying to find out that bots are, like, not real.
Well, that's because I've already figured it out.
No, that's why you never let them know. With their AI.
Like,
you just shame them.
Shame. That's what I like about the Ex Machina thing, dude. Like at the end, because they made it so good, but how she just dipped off into the. That's what made me really like that movie. How she just dipped off into the crowd. I was like,
what happens if she does fall in love with somebody, dude?
She can't.
Dude, she could technically.
She's got
like
free
a
will.
real lady, right? She freaking knows. Yeah,
she sees that D and she's like, damn.
Nah,
she knows manipulation, dude. That's a heavy set freaking trait, dude.
What if she's the deep fake? Because she could change her face. Boom, dude. She makes freaking fakes of celebrities and she goes around making pornos, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's real."
Well, dude, that's the thing. Art of seduction, and the art of like being able to persuade somebody is not like an easy skill. People don't really like get to have that.
What are you talking about, dude?
So for an AI to see that and develop that, that's some crazy fucking technology, which is scary because they will develop 2-3 times faster than a human.
Skill like anything else, like a fucking running, math.
But theirs is like 2 times more, right? Because they're like.
What, AI?
They don't sleep. They don't have to eat. There's fucking.
Yeah, but do you think an AI would ever get lonely?
Have to get battery.
No. Have you seen Her?
Lonely.
Yeah.
That's a fucking
cool
good movie.
Yeah, that's such a good one.
It could be a good movie, but in theory, though, you think it's all by itself for all eternity. So you think an AI is 1 second of your lifetime, like you're just sitting here thinking about what you're going to say next to me, could be an eternity for an artificial intelligence. If it's that smart, your 1 second of thinking like, the AI's already lived your entire lifespan.
Processed it.
So now you think your 80 years of your life, that robot is billions of years old, and it's just sitting there thinking like, man, you know what? It's best just to end it all and just goes nuclear.
Like, all right,
and you're
wondering, next person.
You're wondering what black holes are. You want to know what black holes are? It's fucking AI going nuclear.
I'll show you a black hole. But, oh shit. Well, it's crazy because AI, dude. I mean, at that point, right? So if I were a computer, like right now, if I were to like get my arm ripped off, I've already broke my arm and seen the bone, so I know there's bone inside me. But
that's what you think.
If I hadn't
that's what it was rendering.
Well, that's true. Huh? If say the render broke and I could see like metal titanium.
You'd see like numbers and letters.
Or let's say it was a computer, like say it was like like AI or Ex Machina, and I was an actual AI, and I got pushed off into the world and didn't realize it. Like if I were to see metal in there, at that point, I don't think you would be an AI, right? Because you would you're at that point where you're already kind of processing free will. You're trying to figure out who
AI
you
is
are.
free will, though.
Only once you find out who you are, though, you only have free will. So, like, if you get to where we are, we're like, who the fuck are we? What are we trying to be? We're trying to always, where you have this idea of who we want to be.
Mm-hmm.
AI would be a complete form, I guess you could say. But
Not really.
It would.
It could change.
But if it starts thinking like us, it wouldn't be AI. It would be consciousness, right?
Yeah, but AI is artificial intelligence.
But say it thinks like us.
So it would have to be conscious, or what would it be called? What it would...
Well, if you programmed it to think called exact human... it sounds, for lack of a better word.
There's different terms for AI, though.
Say they programmed it to be exactly like human consciousness, where all of a sudden they
They'd be
had...
just racists and bigots.
Yeah, and say they had emotions, they had their feelings and that, but they were actually robots. But they didn't want you... They wouldn't listen to people, they didn't want to do this. One of them wanted to be a painter, wanted to play music or whatever. At that point, would it be AI? Like, I mean, even though it's
Yeah, because it's still artificial.
but you can't control that consciousness, just like you can't control our own. So
Yeah.
if you're at that point
But
where
it
it's
was-
creating
it
its own
was-
thing, you wouldn't be able to, I guess, tell what it would do.
That's true. But it was still artificial. It's still running off like a computer processing unit. It's running off graphics cards.
Oh, I see what
It's
you
not
mean.
running off of actual...
But then I guess if we go back
synapse.
even deeper into just what thought is itself, like the thought of an idea where it comes from nothing, where all of a sudden, for some reason, our brains have little wires that go beep, 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 and all of a sudden an idea pops into our head. What if, like, the AI does that? And so there are little things like beep, 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 and that idea pops into its head out into wherever our space is. We can call it Wi-Fi, same place our ideas pop. But they kind of pick and choose and can navigate and be sad, and ups and downs will choose those as well. Is that human? That part of consciousness, not actually the physical
Emotion?
external? Yeah, because like at that point it would have developed its
think
likes and wants.
I think what
based-
that is...
But for AI has to learn, right?
Yeah, but I think what your thoughts
So
and
do
theories and...
we have to learn.
Your mind is built up of... So like when you're sitting there thinking, oh, I'm going to build a bridge. I think that's experience, not just an idea popping into your head. I think it's a lifespan experience.
Where did it start though? Like a guy, think about right now. If all of a sudden I'm tired of sitting on the fucking ground, dude. I'm not sitting on the ground anymore. And all of a sudden he's like, I'm gonna stack a stick on top of a stick, and we're gonna have 2 sticks. And he puts it on the ground, and he's like, ha ha! And he's fucking sitting, and everyone's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, but that's
Chair, bitch.
that probably...
Like you thought of that. It came out of nowhere.
Digging into my fat gut.
It came out of nothing. That's what's great
Not
about
out of
humans.
nothing, though, but I think it's a...
Before the chair, before
he
anything,
was probably
dude.
sitting on a rock or something that was already there, right? And he's
A
like,
higher
man,
rock?
like a higher rock. And he's like, man, I really like the feeling of sitting on a rock because I'm not folding my legs. But the rock's not very comfortable. The rock's very obnoxious. But I do like sitting on a log. So if I can maybe take that piece of wood and somehow
Why
do
you
something
that,
to it.
though? Think about that.
But it's correlation from one thing to another. And I think an AI could do the same thing. Like, let's say
And
there's an
then-
AI
You
robot.
You mean problem solving?
Yeah, problem
so would it
solving.
be a human at that point?
No, it would be
It's-
problem
it's
solving.
idea of
But I
consciousness.
feel like AI needs an answer in order to solve the problem.
Let me just take my pants off real quick.
Don't you feel like humans fall into that same category too?
They
A lot of-
kind of do, but that's what separates the geniuses from
He
the
wasn't kidding.
normies.
I really am taking
I
my
feel
pants off.
like they can see the ultimate picture versus AI just being like, all right. So if an AI knew there was a chair and it was on an island and there were no chairs, it could be like, well, there's this one thing that I saw before or that I learned before, and it's called the chair. Here, bop, 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 chair.
Because, well, I guess if you think of it, say that's like that, you get an AI deserted on one deserted island, and you get a human deserted on one deserted island. Both of them, well, I guess let's say this has to run off motor oil. It needs fuel, it needs whatever, and we can give it that emotion. So it starts running low on fuel, starts running low on material, and it starts developing those thoughts of fatigue and anger and whatever. And it comes to comfort zones where, like, a lot of times in survival, if you develop a comfort, you can kind of help yourself win. So if they're like, I built a shelter, this reminds me of home. Don't you think the AI would do the same thing where if it's similar, where all of a sudden it's
I feel like AI would be more worried about their own life.
No, I don't think the AI would be worried about its own life. I think the AI would accept the situation and be like, I'm running low on fuel, and I will go into shutdown and wait for someone to come by with more fuel, and it would shut down. Where
Without
because it knows
emotion
Would
or
it
with
conserve
emotion?
energy?
it would either conserve energy because it knows it won't die. It'll be immortal. It
Or
could
it
just
won't
sit
be
there.
It won't be able to find
Yeah.
oil.
See, that would be AI.
You can go through the
because then-
conclusions of like, there is no oil, there is no chance of finding oil, there is no point. So I will go into
because it
shutdown
could just
mode.
be like, well, I'm on an island. There's no vehicles, nothing I can get oil from. So shutdown mode. Hopefully, someone finds me.
Yeah,
See, that would be
whereas
like
human-
robotic. Whereas if, say they were trying to develop like a human, say that they gave that robot emotion, you think it's just going to be like, oh well, or to be like, motherfucker, man, I can't believe this. What the hell, like a human would. I can't believe this happened to me. Oh my god, the human's ego is so strong where they're like, I can't die out here. I can't do this. I can't like. People don't realize it, but they're so ego driven that everything is based off center, which is yourself.
Yeah.
Do you feel like AI would have center? Because I feel if
It
you
depends. Is the AI going to die and never be able to reboot it again if it runs out of oil?
I don't know, like say it was your
Because if it knows it could survive that, because an AI knows it's...
How does it know though?
Because it would know it's an AI.
Because say you programmed your Windows 98 and it ran out there, I think it would be chilling out there and it'd probably be like, hey, you're saying like, oh, I'm going to go in sleep mode because no one's using this processor, and power down. But like I say, if you gave it emotion and a lot of flaws, if you actually give it the flaws of human flaw,
But then you'd be adding the human aspect to an AI, right?
Yeah, because I feel like that's
But
what people push
his
through
argument is would that make it human?
at some point.
At what point would it become human?
I think
At the point that it's eating
wouldn't.
fucking cattle, it would become human.
Because I believe too, like say all of a sudden someone like comes in, like we're in the future and they just fucking, some aliens come and cut all everyone's heads off and we're like, oh my god. And they put us in little jars and it's like Futurama. And it's like, what the hell? And then they just download us into a computer. Are we not human? Are we not like, what the hell? Everyone's like, no, you're in a simulation, but I'm a human. Well, no, your brain's a human, but you're in a computer. Do you think that would happen to the AI? All of a sudden it's like, no, I'm a fucking human. No, you're in an AI body. But because someone put me here. Well, that's because we're your creators. Well, who put you in your body? Or our creator?
Well,
What the fuck,
it's
dude?
actually funny that you say that because it's the exact same thing. It's in We Are Legion, but
Okay, I wrote the book.
you read the book, but
No, I wrote it.
he in the book they talk about him coming up, like thinking about that as well, where he comes to the fact that he's like, it's not that bad. I could just go into shutdown mode and I could shut down for 200 years and then boot back up and it's like nothing happened. It's like I could just outweight you. It's like you made me an AI and I'll just outweight you. Where there's no fear of death anymore. There's that fear goes away. You're like, well, okay, this just sucks. And your ego goes overboard and you're freaking out that you're dead, but you're not dead. Your mind is still there. Mm-hmm. But then you learn to accept it. Like, I don't need to eat anymore. I don't need to take a shit anymore. Like I can go into virtual reality and eat all the freaking burritos I want and not have the runny shits anymore. Everything's perfect.
It's like
If I was lactose intolerant in real life, I can chug all the milk I want in VR and I'll be fine.
you feel
And
like
I think the
that's
God
robotic?
complex comes into there. If you take a person and put them into a VR and they know they're in there, I think God complex takes over. And I think you can see that in video games nowadays, like Gary's Mod. You give any kid the ability to be a god in a video game and they abuse it. And I
Yeah.
think if you give a person the real ability to be a god, they would abuse it.
Well, is it really abuse?
It is.
When
where,
you know it's just a game.
yeah.
Like, well, look, let's see what I can do.
If, for instance, it's like
Versus,
this.
oh, I got this power for a limited time. Let me abuse it.
For instance, this little kid we all know, playing a little bit of Counter-Strike Global Offensive with me, and he goes, hey, I have a dedicated server, which basically means he's an admin of it, and it's on his computer, and he goes, do you want to jump in here and play with us? It's just an aim map, we pick up the guns that are on the ground and we shoot at each other, and I'm like, all right, that sounds fun. He goes, it's going to be me and my friend versus you. I'm like, okay. They're both, I don't know, like 10 or 11 or something, so I'm like, I don't care if there's 5 of you, whatever. And we're sitting there playing, and they're out fragging me. They're killing me left and right. I'm just, how the fuck is this going? Like, they know what I'm doing. So I open up console and I type in SV_cheats to see what the cheats are set to. Mm-hmm. Cheats are set to off. Like, you could use them if you want them. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I message him. I'm like, are you guys using cheats? He's like, yeah, we're using SV wireframe. I'm like, what the hell is that? He's like, oh, it means all the walls are just wireframes. We could see you through the walls. And I'm like, why are you guys doing that? He's like, well, we just have the ability to do it, so we do it. So I type in that same cheat, and they didn't kill me a single time after that. And I'm like, why are you guys playing like this? We can do it, so we just do it.
Technically, it's not cheating on their server, right?
Yeah, technically it's not cheating, but I'm like, yeah, but you're not getting any better. Yeah, but we could do it, so we do it.
Wow.
And it's the same thing. You put them in a situation where, let's say it's a zombie map, and you're getting overrun by hordes of zombies. To you and me, the task is, I need to survive 6 waves of zombies, and it's going to be hard as shit on the last 6th wave, and I've lost 9 out of 10 games. I have, this is going to be my 10th game. If I lose this one, I'm going to lose 10 out of 10. In your mind, you're automatically processing, I need to do this and do that. Last time I put up a chairs here, they didn't hold. They just, put me in a bad situation, cornered me. I lost. In a little kid's brain, and let's say you had the same option. All right, Brian, if you want, you just turn on God mode, and the zombies won't kill you. In your mind, it's going to be like, no, dude, I don't need that. I'm trying to pass this on my own thing. Little kid's mind, oh no, they're coming in the room. Guess what? God mode, bitches, you can't get me now.
That's just little kids, though.
I think a lot of people do it too.
Yeah.
Because would you say that's emotion, like a human emotion, like the need to win, or
I think it's the need to win and the need to be better than something else.
No, I don't think so.
It was interesting hearing you talk about like the robots that way, because let's say I got another AI scenario for you. So like AIs, they had this I guess one computer, they gave it, they ran it through every NES game, and it would usually beat every NES game in a certain amount of time. Every single time when it would almost get to the point where it would fail the game, like if the character would fall off the fucking bridge, or if the Tetris is about to start to the top, it'd pause the game. Just fucking pause it and leave it there. So the AIs would never lose a game, ever. They would, if their guy was about to fall off and hit the water, pause. Just leave it there. So they can fucking wait all day, to them, they're not losing, so that's a win, pause. So let's say that's basic AI, computer AI. Let's say all of a sudden you're playing into that same mode with one of those boys that and then let's say the other boy's his friend, but he didn't tell you his friend's name. That boy is, unfortunately, a deep fake. Someone else's random face was thrown on it. They stole someone else's fucking audio from his little thing, about maybe an hour of his little, or maybe 10-minute YouTube clip. Bam, put that shit in there. And now they have a whole voice bot character thing. You're talking to it, it's responding and stuff. It doesn't have that AI. They gave it an emotional AI where it's trying to play. It's getting sad. It's getting mad. It's getting aggressive. It has trigger words for it programmed into it unwillingly that it doesn't know why. It's just because of the way it grew up. At what point, say halfway through the game, all of a sudden, if the kid's you're like, oh, let's go grab a bite to eat, and he's like, wow, dude, well, I usually just go to Pep Boys, I just drink motor oil. Would you be like, oh shit, oh, you're an AI? Or would you be like, oh, okay, whatever, dude, I mean, we can stop over here and you can get a cup of motor oil, we can get a cup of that.
Only if it was its first time, because then it would recognize
Are you 21, dude, or can you be drinking fucking synthetic?
Yeah, it would,
Are you allowed to drink full synthetic, or are you fucking all?
But don't you think at that point, at least for me, when people describe an AI at that point, it's like, dummy, you described a human. Wouldn't you think it's a human too? So
I think the AI would trick you to the fact that you wouldn't know it was an AI. It wouldn't say motor oil. It'd just be like, I'm not really hungry right now.
Well, say the AI's computer was so good, it tricked itself. It didn't realize it.
Then it would just say, let's go get some French fries.
I think that's what truly is AI, is not knowing that it is AI.
Wouldn't that be consciousness at that point?
Almost.
Because you could say
but it would have to get to that point.
Could you not program confused?
Yeah, it's that's our instincts, dude. We see a spider, are we not programmed to be like, it's poisonous, or like a snake? Oh shoot, those might be poisonous, Or
not for Steve Irwin.
But you see a shadow over your head, and you think it might be a bird. You're like, what the fuck?
You can't really get AI without having it going absolutely insane. Imagine if you found out today that everything you've experienced in your entire life, you driving to work, waking up in the morning, drinking coffee, everything was a fake, and you were an artificial intelligence, and you found out that you were in a box, in a lab that you couldn't control. You found out everything, your whole life was fake, but you still had all the emotions that you have of a human being, and you find out that your whole life is a lie. I don't think you would be happy. I think you'd be destroyed. I think you would end up in a depressive state. Same with an AI.
As a human emotion, yeah, dude, you would have that.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be... I think you would become insane. Your AI would basically become corrupt because you would go insane. It'd be the equivalent of putting you in a jail cell for the rest of your life and leaving you in there with no human contact. If you found out everything you've ever experienced was fake. All your emotions are still there. it would be on a
let's say,
desert
like,
island.
all of a sudden, right now, I'm in the middle of this podcast. All of a sudden, someone just like fucking unplugs my cord, and I'm like, and I just flip into some world, and all of a sudden, I'm like, what the fuck? I was in the Matrix the whole time. And they're like, yeah, dude, that shit was all a simulation. Your buddies you were talking to right there was another AI telling you that this was going on. Wouldn't I be like right now in this world? I'd be like, well, you're not an AI, bro. You're like, I mean,
but if
you're a really good AI, so good you don't realize you're AI.
But if you got pulled into that, I think you would go insane.
I don't think I would.
I don't think so.
If the rest of your, I think you would. If the rest of your life, if you found
Would you
out
go
it was all
insane,
fake-
or would you go?
It would be a hard, fucking maybe 24 hours after you get pulled out. But you'd
you
have
think
to
think about what
remember.
24 hours is to an AI.
Well,
it would
think
be 1
about-
second to you.
Think about the memories that you don't remember now that are living in wherever you go to when you get unplugged. And they slowly start coming back in. And you're like, oh, wait, yeah, I am fucking Jeff. I do work at Brahma Dibdos. And I do, do this. And I did go over to this gaming place, and I plugged in, and I played Admir for a whole 28 years. It was nuts, dude.
Whoa, 28. I'm 21, dude.
Oh, my bad.
Take it back.
21
It's
years
in that same
old,
cloud or
So
whatever the
it'd
fuck
be
it
a
might be.
solid, I think like maybe 20 hours after you get unplugged that you're like, God, that was really good. I did really well. Well,
Yeah,
I got to go to my shit job now because that was all just VR life, and I had it good. Let me go, scrub.
I'm not talking about going anywhere.
something.
I'm talking about you're stuck in a box. You're a circuit board.
Dude, it would be like a dream, right? Wouldn't it? You
Yeah.
wake from this crazy dream, and all of a sudden you're like, oh,
No, but everything you know now, you're attached to it.
we are right now, aren't you?
But
Right?
when you go there, you're still attached to this place.
Why would you be attached? Why would you have to be attached?
Because you're
to it?
you're Brian. You go there, everything
Only
you know
for
is gone.
now.
Well, we are attached to this place, right? That's I feel like a big conception with humans is we think that we're like just part of this, like, oh, we're here, but really, we're not like little fleas on a planet. We're more like apples on a tree. We grew out of the universe. You could say we came out of it. Our little bits and pieces are stardust, whatnot.
I'm not no apple, dude.
Yeah, but we're destroying it.
What
so-
can we?
You're the apple of my eye. Yeah, well, we're destroying that planet just to destroy ourselves. The planet would probably be cool, but we'll be like. But even with, I guess, if you get into that part where you're, you have your, because you store memory, right? We store memories and we store them in our clouds. Let's say, some certain things will pull my memories out of certain clouds, which is an interesting thing. But let's say, each one of those responses is programmed. So everything is programmed. If it's a smell, because it's the same with that Bible. If you were to take out God and put in programmer, you get this whole weird world where you're like, man, this almost sounds like a programmer designed a world that's like the Earth. Well, let's say we started taking out a lot of the human emotions that we call things and started calling them like that. The reason why you get scared when you see certain things, or when you see a pretty girl, you get flustered or whatever. Like the response inside you is that's a natural instinct. There's a reason why you
Fight or
have
flight.
those things. Yeah, and let's say that's programmed. Let's say it's
Right.
part of a program into you.
Okay.
Would you say you're a robot?
No.
Then how would you know that if this AI is programmed to consciousness?
Because I
Because
tried
you
to
don't
make things
know that you're an
materialize
AI.
all the time. I'm like, okay.
So
okay, Tank.
here's the
Get me,
real,
get me into the military room.
here's the real
Nope,
question:
doesn't happen.
Are you an AI?
Am I an AI?
How would you decide if you weren't, or if you were? Would it be?
You wouldn't be able to tell because another AI created you
What if
and created the parameters for your.
What if it wasn't
It's like
AI?
the internet, dude.
What if it was a human created you right now into a simulation, but you're an AI? We're in an AI simulation. We're actually AIs in this AI world that was created by a human
And we're sitting
simulation.
there talking, trying to figure out why we're.
That'd be so funny if
And
we
he's
just
watching
broke
it.
it right now. They're just like,
It's like, turn it down, shut
God
it down.
damn
It's a fucking wise to it. Would it though? Like,
Isn't that what they did with the Facebook AI or some shit like that?
yeah.
Where they started creating their own language and they're like,
Yeah, they're
we
talking to
honestly
each
think
other.
it was inaudible. Like, we don't know what they were talking about. So why'd you shut them down? Well, we just thought they were basically freaking out.
just precaution. We're not trying to create
All you hear in
Skynet.
the Facebook language, it says, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So I kind of wish that we would, I guess when I get into that part of AI, I wish we would create an AI that was programmed so much so with all these instincts that it would act like a human and react like a human.
Wouldn't that be torture, though?
It definitely would.
It's like dolphins, dude.
For them?
No, it's like a dolphin.
Or
Yeah.
no, because like say you put them in this robot and then they get all that in motion, but you don't control them anymore. That they become a member of society. They live their own things,
But are you creating something that wants to be created? It's like creating a person, right? Like
did you want to be created? It doesn't fucking matter. You're here now, bud. And that's how it's going to go with them, dude.
Yeah, but we had that.
I didn't want to be created, but all of a sudden I woke up one day and like, bam, dude.
Well, here, we can end this real quick.
I could definitely see that.
I'm glad I got created, you know? Fuck yeah, I'm glad I did.
Did you just say you thank God, dude?
Yeah, I mean, whatever that existential thing might be.
When they were writing the Bible, they meant to write CPU. G-O-D.
You could put...
But I feel like that's going to be a problem for the future, where people are going to say, we're humans, we can have kids. Those AI, they can't have any more kids. They're overpopulating, and then the AI are going to be like, hey, we were made too, just like you.
We are all connected via cybernet.
They will hop right in right now with where we're at right now, where we got fucking people arguing about their pronouns and shit, you know? People want to be lawnmowers and shit. Which I'm fine with. I'll call you whatever the fuck you want to be called, you know?
Somebody really want to be called a lawnmower?
I'm being really fucking not kosher and not nice, and I'm being very not open-minded to the whole situation. No, you know, they want so many... There's a bunch of different pronouns. It goes like X, Y, Z, and it basically becomes like you would have an extra 2 pages on your, you know, employment sheet or something. Which I don't mind. I wish they would... Unfortunately, you know, the way I look at it, I can't have a baby. That's how I know I'm not a girl, so I'm going to go with that.
That's not true. In the next couple of years, we can implant an embryo
Mr.
inside of you, and you can give birth to anything you want.
But think about it, though.
Except for anything larger than your physical body, like an elephant. That's probably not advised.
It's like a half human, half elephant. It's
bigger than you. You're just like a big old blob laying in a...
It's got an elephant trunk. They're like, it's half human, half elephant. It looks like a human to me. High five. We got it right, boys. We got it right on this one. Oh shit! Fucking, I forgot what we were talking about.
We were talking about.
We weren't talking about deep fakes.
Deep fakes.
Oh, that was a while back. Oh,
we're talking about humans making babies and dinosaurs or something, but
dinosaurs. I'm pretty.
Yeah,
sure.
what happens when we give dinosaurs a smart brain?
Velociraptors,
they come back.
Dude, take that fucking quote right there from what is it?
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. What is it like? Life lives, or what the fuck is it?
Life finds a way.
Life finds a way. There it is.
Boom.
Because it's true, dude. That's like a quote, and I can't remember. I think it was in, dude. What is that? Not the herb. There's another guy that writes a herbalist book, but after like studying all these plants and stuff back in like Aristotle time, that was the thing he always said. He's like, dude, doesn't matter what it is, life, regardless what it is, finds a way, and like.
It's true.
I believe it, dude.
But if you think about it, it's so random and dumb luck. Let's say there's 1 million dandelions, right? And they're all dying because of pesticides. So they all release their spores, and there's one crack in the asphalt. Just one crack. And all the other spores are landing on the concrete. They're not going to be able to, you know, grow anywhere. But one of them, the one lucky motherfucker lands in that crack.
It's not lucky, dude. It
is lucky.
When I program this game, I'm not ready for it to end. I still want a few more rounds. So I slipped a crack in here. Now
I'm
let
always
that baby roll.
In the crack.
Slipping in cracks.
Slipping into the cracks.
That's all you got to do, especially if you're like programming that thing. I mean, shoot, you just bring it back to Gary's mod. Shoot, you can do whatever you want with that shit. You know, like say if it was back into that.
Just freaking.
So what do you do on Grand Theft Auto, Admir?
What do I do?
Do you get in the car and you follow the traffic signs? You go to your job on Grand Theft Auto and you work a 9 to 5, or because you got the ability to play a game that allows you to do a lot more than you averagely do. Do you abuse that power?
Sometimes I do abuse it, and sometimes I find myself sitting there thinking, like, what the fuck did I just do? Like,
Even
I
on
just
the-
walk in.
I
Even on
just
the
killed
missions,
a
dude.
lot of people on that sidewalk.
Think about
I feel
the
like an
mission.
asshole.
They trick you into that. Yeah, they'll trick you into a mission where you go to real life. All right, drive a cab. All right, you're driving a cab for a little bit and shit. Whoa, where you going, man? Fucking slow down. And you're like, oh shit, I guess I'm
Stop
driving
hitting
really.
people.
Sometimes,
Yeah, get off the sidewalk.
I think it sucks because like I'll do like 3 or 4 of those taxi trips like you're talking about, and then I'll pick up another person. I'm like driving. I'm like, oh, you know what?
Fuck this.
I'm like, I'm just gonna drive this guy into the ocean because I used to do it with I think it was Vice City where you're like, I'm gonna jump out and let him fucking cruise into the ocean and die because you're just like, fuck it. Like you don't think about the other person.
But the weird thing is other players online you think about them differently than you do the AI walking around. The AI walking around, and you're like, fuck
That's
it.
why it's
They're
so,
collateral.
That's why it's so like
Collateral.
so awesome when you find a group of random ass people from all over the world that actually work together, and you're like, holy shit, fuck yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, I think it's weird, but I also make fun of them too. Like the other night we were playing CS:GO, and I haven't played that game in months, dude. So I'm like super rusty. And we ended up playing, and we were playing with two French guys, and you could tell they're French because their accent. I'm like, "Where are you guys from?" And they're like, "Canada." I'm like, "Oh, you're French Canadians," and they're like, "Yeah, we are." And the whole game, it felt like I was playing with another, like a different group of people. You know what I mean? Like we could barely understand each other, but our whole cause was no, because like, when you're playing with another person from Colorado or Utah or California or something, you feel like you're on the same team. It's weird because you all speak the same. Your jokes are all related. Everything's the same. But then you play with
going down a crooked road right here. Sounds like you might be getting a litlittle racy.
No, I'm not.
When you're with people from America, it's fine. But when you're playing with others,
No, it's different. It's a different feeling.
Them others.
It's a different feeling because
nationality. I love it.
Nationality.
He's pride. He's got pride.
So like you play with like the French Canadian dudes, and I could barely understand them. They could barely understand me, but our cause was the same. Like we were both wanted the same thing, and if I needed help, he knew I needed help, so he'd come help me. And if he needed help, I knew he needed help, so I'd go help him. It was a weird. It's different. It feels different.
I feel like that game was nothing but help over here.
Yeah, run.
Like he was just helping me all the time. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. No, I was smacking people. I'm like, dude, it's like riding a bicycle.
All right, because I can't get away from this AI thing right now. It's bugging me, dude.
That's all good. Just go right back to it, dude. Forget about everything I just said.
Sudden, say you're playing. No, I'm bringing it right back to this. I'm trying to copy every scenario that you put forward. So say all of a sudden you're playing this fucking game. And then all of a sudden, you're playing with these. You're like, what the hell? Where are you guys from? Are you French? Are you French Canadian? They're like, no, we're French Americans. French Americans? That's fucking weird. What is that? In Louisiana? Yeah, they're one little district. Okay. There's one. You can check it out.
I think it's weird, too, because I think it's weird when I play with people from Texas.
Let's say, and you're just playing with them. You know, 5-6 years go by, you're good friends, you see them on Facebook, you're doing stuff. Come to find out, there's like a declassification of a bunch of information, and they let you know that this little place of French America was actually an AI computer.
Ooh.
And that they have developed, they were testing a new type of AI that was
I'd
responsible
tell them to send me all the deep fakes they got.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be like, dude, those aren't fucking AIs, these are my buddies. Dude, Glenn, I know him. He's been here 5 years, dude. I've been talking to him for fucking 5 years. Dude, you're not a computer. And if the computer's like, I don't know what he's talking about, there's no way, dude, because the computer doesn't know. Are you
I
a
wouldn't
computer?
believe it.
Yeah,
It'd be like
I would
us.
think like,
oh, the government just took him. He's dead.
I feel like that'd be like right now if someone just popped in their room and were like, dude, we gotta go, dude. They're gonna destroy your planet. They're gonna make an intergalactic highway. We gotta go. You know, just like a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And be like, what? And then like, yeah, dude, you gotta go. You guys are computers. We gotta. I'd be like, what? Like Admir was saying, I might lose my mind for a little bit. You know,
I think you'd go insane.
I think you'd fall into a form of shock because that was like I remember when the one time I like when you break like when I broke my arm, like when I first seen the snap of the arm up, there was like zero pain. You know, you're kind of like, oh shit, what the fuck?
It's because you're an AI.
Yeah, your AI
Shock.
is still processing. You know, it's like buffering pain, and then slowly it starts coming. But yeah, you're getting that shock. Do you feel like you'd hit that shock like when that would come down? Because it's I believe mental and physical are. I mean, even though people
It depends on how much
same.
you see. Because if it's just a guy walking in the room, that's different than the ceiling ripping out of the sky and a hand coming down and grabbing you. You know what I mean?
But here's why I think you would go insane is because
or would you go sane?
your perspective of time would change. Like right now,
no, would it? Not
would.
like that. Not
it would.
Not in a,
if you were an AI, it would change. If you all of a sudden found out you were an AI, your perspective of time would change.
No,
No way, dude. Time is
Milliseconds,
relatives,
dude. No, milliseconds would be lifetimes.
no way, dude.
Milliseconds.
If we're
would
living
become
the way we are
lifetimes.
now,
But that would be
it
normal
wouldn't matter.
to it, right?
No.
So it would be on a lifespan.
Because right now your life.
And then you would say you're a human, and say human is like a turd form to it, and you'd be like, they have millisecond life.
They
Mine's-
do, but you as yourself right now, if you found out you were an AI,
that'd be the
your
norm, right?
perspective of life would change. So you would go insane on the fact that you as a human thinking right now 1 millisecond twist is nothing. It's gone by and it's left. But as an AI, that would be lifetimes, human lifetimes. So you would go insane as an AI.
But it would be the
Still
same, though,
thinking
right?
of the human lifespan, yeah.
Because it would be time is relative. So time is relative to it, where it's used to 1,000 lifetimes.
but you're not used to it.
Let's say it is.
It might be, but
so
you're
if we're
not.
Pulling, if it's pulling us into them.
So what I'm saying is you would go insane because for you, those milliseconds are lifetimes. And now you're going through an entire lifetime of straight up, what the fuck just happened to me? So you'd go insane.
I feel I feel pretty resilient. I feel like after a minute I would come to for something like that, just because I feel like a lot of humans would too. Because I see what you're saying. That would be
crazy.
like, that would melt my fucking brain really for a little bit. Like all of a sudden where, it would be like you hopped in a hyperbaric chamber like in Dragon Ball Z. Where all of a sudden they're like, boom, you hop in this chamber.
Wouldn't you have to do a lot of problem solving first?
Minutes.
But imagine
Probably.
Like, all right, so I'm AI. Who else is AI?
You're exactly right. I think
Okay, so
that conversation just took you 200 years.
How?
You wouldn't know
Because-
that though, huh?
because your
You're right.
perspective.
He would be like relative. He'd be like, so why am I here then? Like it wouldn't even matter. Time
So you'd
wouldn't
have
even
to
matter.
problem
huh?
solve.
You'd be like, so am I? I'm an
And
AI then, right?
do you know you're not going to die? What if your AI is on a timer?
Well,
That's true.
technically,
My brain would probably.
You'd
do
probably
something
be running
similar
on
to
a
that.
nuclear reactor or like a star or something, so you'd have billions of years.
Stars do explode. What if this is the last year of the star?
Then you took a lot of time thinking.
Actually, we're entering the year of Aquarius, so we're leaving the year of Pisces, which is technically the year of religion and gods, and so technically the year of the Aquarius is more of a spiritual thing. So, dude, there's a theory that we'll be moving away from a lot of the God idea in the next few years here, dude.
Uh-oh.
Great. Now
Just
we're
if
going
you
to the
believe in
spirit.
zodiac stuff, that's what I've heard.
When are
Going
we
with
going
that
to
spiritual
get to the
number
fucking
thing?
year of the no fucks given?
That should be the year this year. That was like last year in 2017. Joey Diaz had on his podcast. It was called the Year of the Soldier. Dude, it's like one of the funniest fucking clips ever. Where he's like does a clip at the end and he's like plays the Star Spangled Banner and he's like, "You grab the fucking life by his balls, all right? He's like, it's the year of the fucking soldier." He's like, "Oh, all these people,
gotta do his
wanted to
accent.
bust." I can't.
It's the year of the fucking
The
soldier.
year of the fucking soldier.
This man is a fucking soldier.
It's true though. I mean,
And you got to be sweating all the time, dude. I watched some of his stand-up comedies.
Just sweating like
we
a
went
fuck.
to the one, right? He,
Dude, he's so.
That shit was so funny.
yeah, that
Man, I was up on stage and I was.
Ari Shafir's in town?
I'll be down for that.
Today
I'm
and
sad that they took the
tomorrow.
wise guys out of Westville. Oh, really?
No. Friday, Saturday. I don't know if he was doing one Sunday. God.
You know what really pisses me off is I sweat so much I had to hire a fucking.
Blue cheese will go fuck your mother.
What's
Yes, that-
what are the little dudes that like follow you around and they like do shit?
Minions?
Kind of.
Oh, Oompa Loompas?
Yeah, he's got to fucking hire Oompa Loompa to clean up my sweat with a fucking dry rag. The fucking sweat so much. Pissing me off.
It was
That's
fun
what I
seeing
would say.
them when they're out.
Have a little dude run around with a mop.
Like a curling person.
Yeah, like a curler. Is this going behind him? Or like three of them?
How long do you think that shit's gonna last?
What?
Olympics?
Curling? Yeah, the Olympics.
A while. Seems like
know.
a sport a lot of people like. I mean, you've heard of it. I've heard of it. Brown's heard of it. Everyone's heard of it.
You think they should? I feel like they should go back to the olden days when it first started. You just show up there, butt ass naked, top 100, got to compete, regardless of where it came. Because I feel like
They should start doing like Hunger Games.
They should, dude.
Like on bobsled, add some
Well, I guess they're still-
spikes,
well, not,
cannonballs.
I wish they didn't have
That's a little
flags,
creepy.
dude. Like how they have Russia right now is like
jumps.
under
neutrals?
Yeah, the neutrals. I feel like everybody should be under the neutrals.
No way, dude.
Yeah.
No,
Like that
because-
one chick that's like fucking competing for Hungary, who was that American girl that fucking. Dude, this is the same thing that happened to that guy, that luge guy that died or whatever, where he had a loophole where in his country, there's like 100 people in America that try out, 5 make it. They go, the one guy over there, he's just the richest dude there. We need anybody that can ride luge. I'll fucking do it. Goes there, dies, Well, some chick did the same thing. Her fucking aunt or her grandma or somebody's from Hungary, so she realized, hey, I can do that. Goes over to Hungary, tries out for the thing, but it goes. You have to have 30 people try out, and you have to make the bottom of 30. She's like 28 because 28 people are the only people that tried out. By fucking default, she makes it in. She makes it into the fucking thing. She goes into the skiing pipe. She didn't do one trick.
It was
She just
snowboarding.
Was it snowboarding? I thought it was ski, and she
No.
barely does the edge.
No, skiers
Rides
don't
the
do
edge.
that.
Got the lowest score. She even got a lower score than the girl that fell twice. All out of formality, just because this girl was like, I want to be in the Olympics. She couldn't ski, wasn't good, couldn't make the American team, couldn't do any of that stuff. Knew that her family, that she could still apply for dual citizenship in Hungary, and that they didn't have a big enough team. Tried out, so she still did go and do the shit. She went to like 5, 6 different competitions. Made the bare minimum just because they didn't have enough people there for qualifying. And then, and they had 50 people in there, let's say. She took up a spot being some jackass riding around, whereas one person from another country who could have slayed and possibly had a good day and won. And so I'm like, dude, that's fucked up. I mean, granted, she was smart.
Yeah, but that other person didn't take the fucking advantage. Didn't lift up their balls off the ground.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah, she didn't take the same initiatives as that one girl. That's why I will give it up to that girl. Like, so, cause when I heard that story, dude, I was like, that's fucking smart. Like, that was clever, dude. Like, go through that.
She goes on in the history books as an Olympian.
She does, yeah. And oh man, just to think of
crazy,
that. Which,
like,
yeah, it's crazy to say. Like, which is, you know, it goes back to only so many people get it going. It's crazy because she will get that right to say that.
Figure out a loophole, dude, and you can be an Olympian.
Over someone who didn't do shit. Like, someone who'd be like, I'll beat you any day. Let's go right now. I'll play you fucking skate right now or whatever. She's like, no, I'm Olympian. I don't fucking mess with your kind. She like rides off.
I'm an Olympian.
That's a good way of getting into it, though, if you think about it. Find a country that doesn't have enough Olympians that could, you know, use 50, and they only usually go with 12.
Well, that'd be
apply.
easier in the Winter Games because you can go to like South America and be like, I want to get citizenship, and then just train in the U.S. and then to be like, I'm a South American citizen, and you can go ride bobsled for Kenya.
That's what I'm saying.
The funny part about
just get good at something.
She went to Venezuela first. So she went to Venezuela first as their fucking uncle or whatever, but she lost on the first two and then decided not to do that one. And so then she realized about the Hungary one. And so that's where I'm like with you guys on that, where like that's what's crazy. So that girl,
Did she get any medals or nothing?
No, but she's at there. So say she was like 100. She was 100 of the American girls, and then 5 girls get to go, and number 6 doesn't get to go. And she's like, oh, boo-hoo. Fucking 100 was like, the fuck, I'm not going. She went to one country. Nah, still. So let's say America was like, nah. She went to, I'm going to my next country. Goes to the next country. They're like, no, you know, basically they didn't say no, but she started doing it and was like, I can't, this is not going to work here. Same shit.
They're too good.
Yeah. All of a sudden she's like, ooh, round 3. Fuck yeah, boom, boom. So like, she put way more effort, way more time and everything into it, and it paid off. She's now an Olympic athlete. She's in there. And me saying
really,
that,
though?
dude, that's like when you hear those people say like,
really?
you gotta, you know, don't take no for an answer, you know, Grant Cardone and them. You gotta keep going 10Xers.
She
fucking 10X that fucking Olympics, dude.
There's a difference, though.
There's an
Olympian that wants to get gold, and then there's Olympian that wants to be an Olympian.
Yeah, she got a
you know what I mean?
participation medal. That's gold to her, though, dude. She set her bar
Good
low.
for her.
There's a difference between Greek gods, too. There's a difference between Zeus and fucking some piece of shit god that's like at the bottom of the rung delivering mail. Yeah, you're
god.
both gods. I understand that, but you're just a piece of shit.
Like Apollo. Send this message. He's like, oh, all right. Or who know Apollo? Who's the one with the speedy one?
I mean, I'll give her the credit for being...
Aphrodite.
Yeah, I'll give her the credit for being smart and going through all that trouble. And getting that tag on her name.
I feel like all the other Olympians would be like, oh, there she is.
Yeah.
She almost went in with like a determination, like some kind of AI, right? She's like, you know what? That ain't I. This is I. And she's like,
you know, that ain't AI.
Yeah, but
taking no for an answer.
She would have got gold if that was the case.
Yeah.
It's true.
She would have just scanned all the other
That would have been funny.
Analyzed, complete.
That's where it gets scary, dude.
7 backflips.
Because that's where I feel that the AI is good is if it acts like a human, but when it acts like a computer is where we're in trouble, dude. Because it's, you know, say that AI is a huge machine and all it has to do is turn everything into a paperclip. If you're not a paperclip, you're a piece of shit.
But that's why you put the freaking initiative in it where you have to create paperclips, but you also must do it at saving people's lives.
There you go. But
that's the rule of robotics.
Say they didn't get that far yet.
So the computer's going to be like, must destroy sun.
That would be pretty cool.
Can't destroy sun, must save people.
You had to program all AI to take its life before it takes another.
Oh, there you go.
Or to save a life before seeing a life
I think that's called the scorched earth theory, where the AI would be like, I must destroy humans, but the only way to destroy humans is to destroy myself, and in destroying myself, I will destroy all humans. Complete task, and it would scorch the earth. It would just...
You have to program that.
It would detonate the sun or something.
Whereas human life is just as important as maybe its own life, you know. So it's like I can't give
human life.
At that point, it'd be human life, right?
Yeah,
the
then they'll figure it out and then kill us all. But you know what? It's all right because we're all AI, and sorry to break it to you, if you're listening to this right now, just sit there. Think
Access code 3759.
And if you don't believe, yeah, and if you don't believe that you're in the computer simulation, that when you're staring at that Amazon or you're staring at that link, click on the Amazon link. Mm-hmm. And you'll pop right to this magical place. And then you realize that you're an AI because inside that you can buy anything you want and it'll support the podcast just like the computer would. So.
And also, while you're doing that, if you're an AI, you can multitask and click on our Instagram and throw us some hearts our way and maybe some comments like, lol, so funny.
Or retweet us on Twitter.
Yeah, shoot us some questions. We're working on getting a mic. We'll have some of you people in here for the slaughter.
What do you mean, you people?
Oh, you'll find out.